All right, I'm fucking tired, so take it, Frank.
Hey, thanks, Pat. Welcome to the Pat Oates Show, POS. We got a special show tonight with two great guests. First, from New Zealand, live from New Zealand, we have a comic, a fitness trainer, and a former rugby star. Let's give a big hand for AC Cowie. And
We have to give a big hand. You made me give a hand. Let me give a. Why are we giving hands?
and let's welcome from Compound Media. He's a producer and on-air personality, Steve Conti, the God.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. That was the best intro I've ever gotten.
And it was the best one he's ever given. Holy
That's
shit,
right.
Frank did really well.
I fucking nailed that.
Yeah,
oh
I-
my
I was
God.
sick.
I would like to point out, I feel like you did miss one thing.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my
throwing
God, I
that out
can't
there.
believe it.
Kind of a
I was gonna
dickhead.
say it. That
Excuse me.
was the
Let's
best
take-
intro.
Let's listen. And with our co-host, that this show cannot be at the level it is, Bobby Timbor.
He can't even improvise that you're a good guy. What is up, Frank? Are you jealous of Bobby because Bobby's doing a second show with me and you're not?
No.
Because ever since retail started, you stopped introducing Bobby.
You're
That
right.
is-
But
that is when it
I
started.
don't know why.
Why don't
I
you
have to
like
figure it-
Bobby?
No, it's also the fact that's when he started putting that 60 crap behind him.
But you liked it better when he was in that snuff film hotel by the window 80 yards away.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a film noir. I mean, it reminds me of a 40s movie.
I like the fact that you attacked me and called me a Muslim last week when you literally dressed up as one for half of your career. That was the entirety of your basis.
That's right. You
feels
stepping
like
on my
Pot
you
calling a
stepping
kettle
on my
black, man.
dress.
Speaking
You
of
stepped
that,
on-
Frank, did you see the thing that's coming out? Whoopi Goldberg's doing it. It's on ABC. I forget the name of the show, but there's a guy who's pretending to be a sheik, and he duped all these people. He made $8 million. People that coming over, he stole your bit.
Well, no, I never did it for money. I mean, because you get into
He
trouble.
did it for the love of the game.
for
So
the,
he
for the
did
love,
it better than you.
for the love of the ability to embrace my Middle Eastern brothers.
You know what, though, Bobby? I just thought of something. Know what Frank's mad about?
Well, I'm not mad.
No one intros Frank. I say take it, Frank, but we never say, and here's your announcer, Frank Merga. That's what Frank feels left out.
Wait, we'll take it again. Pat, you go from the top, and then don't kick it to Frank.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to POS, the show where we fucking obviously don't care, and then people are going to write garbage on YouTube because some people are assholes. Take it, announcer and age extraordinaire, Frank Merga.
Please give a warm welcome for your announcer, Frank Mergolo.
Or Gallo,
No, you
shithead.
deserve to get your name said wrong.
All right, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Did you
That
just
was
judge
better than
him?
me. What?
Did you just judge that? He ran off the corner for some reason. I don't know why he had to
I
do
want to
that.
be the off-screen voice, man.
He
Then you
fucked his
mean that it
name
was
up.
all-
That was terrible.
It was staticky. Yeah, it sucked. That was
Bad
bad.
I'm
job,
just a
Bobby.
nice guy.
Well, you guys don't announce people on Compound, right? They just say hi.
Yeah, no, nobody gets announced.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think of it. I mean, there have been announcers. Figs was one, but he didn't really announce, right? Did he?
I
Mitch
think he
Christie?
I think he
remember.
did.
He did.
Okay, so there was one announcer. I thought he just. I just stole that from you guys when I was at my pilot because I was like, I don't want Frank to sit close to me, so I'm going to put him on the Figs couch.
This is before the virus, too. You got to remember that.
Why?
Well, no, because if it was the virus, then you know you got to be
You wouldn't be
socially
there because
distanced.
you're dying. You're older 1,000. You can't be there.
I'm going to live for a long time.
Is Frank
I'm
the
gonna-
oldest person
I'm
to
going to
ever
burst
be in
your
Compound
bubble.
Media Studios?
Nah, Barry Ribs.
No, Barry's way younger.
Barry's 110.
Barry is sadly, I think, 58.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think if he's 60, he's just 60. Barry's not that old.
All right.
He's not older than Frank. Frank's 80 or about to be 80.
Then yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced that Barry Ribs isn't a ghost.
Yeah, do you think he's not there? We've never seen no. Everyone's seeing him.
He's like a couple 100 years old.
I might see him this weekend because he shows up at the shows that they put that Mead and all them put on. So, and I'm on one of those. You know, him and Larry B will probably show. I was hoping Bobby could go. Bobby's a big star. Open it up for Captain N-word, Gino Bisconti. So it's gonna be fun.
That'll be a fun weekend. House of Laughs in Delaware. Get your tickets now.
AC, any comedy in New Zealand?
I don't know. I think I'm done.
Done. Cancel already.
I'm moving to a town of 800 people, so
Yeah, but you could
I'm-
just start
I'm
your own
planning on
comedy
doing-
club.
I could talk to the pub owner,
Yeah,
maybe.
call it Cunts Comedy. You guys can say that out there. It's fun. Right before the show started, he's like, "Do you hear any background noise?" Because the cunt next door is mowing his lawn. I'm like, "Oh, New Zealand. I like that. That's just a fun thing to
Just
do."
means person. You know that.
I don't know. I'm gonna be a terrible host. I'm not usually good anyway, but I've worked 3 overnights in a row at my retail store. They're redoing all the shelves, and I had to go overnight with another guy and physically move all the aisles. And so I've been 3 days, and we decided to do one more. So I've just been sleeping in comas. So Frank, you're gonna have to fucking step it up. Bobby, you better bring something to the fucking table. And the two of you got to get along. I can't deal with this shit anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why can't you love each other?
We do.
You
We
don't.
have no problem.
You have a problem.
No, we
Call
don't
him
have
names.
a problem.
You don't
Yeah,
announce him.
it
You're
is-
jealous of
I
my
mean,
love.
He is like a good pair of gloves, to my left hand.
One glove,
One glove, because
Pair of glove.
pair of gloves.
and I think it fits so well. I forget he's there. I
Why would
know
you
he's
forget your
there,
glove is
but
there?
I forget.
Your gloves remind you it's there when it's cold, and you're like, "Oh, thank you, glove."
Not in my house. It ain't cold in my house. It's 80 degrees.
What?
And
Okay, I
Frank's
think
the-
your analogy went away somehow.
Frank's the
What?
Shaq to my Kobe, you know?
Frank
Yeah.
just said you're like a glove that he wears in his house when it's 80 degrees, which means he doesn't wear you at all, and you're useless.
That's kind of what I was saying with the Shaq Kobe thing too.
All right, AC, Steve, who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Bobby for not letting it go? Frank's 80. Who cares if he gets announced? When I promote the show, I tag Bobby 1,000. Everyone knows Bobby. Most people are watching because of Bobby. Everyone loves Bobby. One of our biggest fans, Rebecca, can't stop flirting with her, even though she's married with 1,000 kids and nothing will happen. But still, she loves you. And you're the sex on this show. You are. You're the fucking eye candy, sadly, of this show.
If
Is it
if me
Frank
with my
for his
balding,
jealousy? Because Frank, this show started with me and him, and I had to bring Bobby in because we needed to start more talent. I needed to let Frank shine his own so he could do his little story every week, but I couldn't make him do all the heavy lifting, so I had to bring Bobby in and do that. Is it me for being on this show? Because no one wants to see me. They're like, Pat talks too much. We want Bobby and Frank. It should be the Bobby and Frank show. I don't even know why I'm on it. And I named the show after me. I don't get introduced. I mean, kind of. You say it's the Pat Oates show, POS, Pat Oates show. You say it like 40 times, but no one knows what you're saying. Who's the piece of shit? AC, go first.
Well, I think people tune in to watch just the tension and drama between the two of them. So I can't actually see a piece of shit. I was going to say you, because you're the coach here. You should have them running smoothly, but this is what you want.
Yes, it is what I want the chaos. I like that they fight over me.
So you call it the piece of shit show, but there's no piece of shit in this situation for me. So
it's me.
yeah,
But you also kind of said it was me.
kind of.
Steve,
I'm definitely gonna have to go with Bobby. He's the piece of shit. He's fucking with Frank. Frank's too old for this shit. He gave him a terrible intro before. Frank gave me a great one before. I don't know if you can just take his lead and do kind of the same thing for the guy you've been doing a show with. But apparently
at the
you
same
just
time, Steve, Frank, I gave him your guys' names and a little bit about you 2 days ago, and he had time and he worked on it. He's known Bobby's been on the show for months.
yeah,
You
he's
can
had
work
enough
on
of
that
Bobby shit.
too.
I can see right through that. He wasn't being disrespectful. He's just had enough. Bobby can go fuck off.
Done. Maybe 1 week Bobby should be the announcer and Frank should be the guy who gets high and tells one story about not having sex 14 years ago. And they should switch roles. And that can be it. Frank,
By the
I
way,
like
Frank,
when we
where's
have
that
you do
plane
your
going?
story first because people want to hear it and also because I have to look up my story. So
Okay. All right, this came to me yesterday.
hold on.
What?
Here he is,
Go ahead.
live from Frank Studios, the star of Frank's Own Stories, Frank Mergalo.
Oh,
Saying your name wrong. Frank Mergalo.
thank you, sir. I was doing another story, but this came to me last night when I was talking to somebody, reminded me of a story that I totally forgot about from 40 years ago, but I think it's worth repeating.
I just
Real
really
quick,
hope
Frank-
this story ends with you hijacking a plane as your Prince
You
character.
know?
I really hope that's where this goes.
Frank, real quick. I'm gonna pause for 1 second. I'm gonna talk with my friend AC here. AC is a very funny comic, and him and I have talked about comedy and stuff. We talked about how to make sets better. We chat about all that kind of stuff. AC, what did he do wrong at the beginning? Too much clutter, correct? We didn't get to the point. You and I have talked about that at the beginning of that intro. He just repeated himself 6 times. Get to the fucking funny, correct?
Yeah, I fell asleep halfway through it because there was
See?
nothing.
You gotta grab their attention. We need to gain your trust. You need to gain our trust. We're sitting there with our arms folded, and you walked out, and you're like, well, there was gonna be this story, but then it's this story. Get to the plane, Frank. You got a fucking plane behind you.
All right, you want the fucking story?
Fucking
You want
story.
the
Yeah,
fucking
go.
story? You're
Go.
gonna get the fucking story.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. 40 years ago, a guy comes into my business and he says, I'm looking for Frank Morgallo. I said,
That
this
sounds
is
like
me.
a street joke.
What can I do for you? He says, I'm going to I'm going to New York for a meeting, and I was told to bring you with me. I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. He says, I got a high-powered meeting in New York. A lot of people I know said you're the man to go bring with me, and you'll help me out. I said, sir, what is this about? He says, you got to trust me. We have mutual friends. I have a limo outside.
It sounds like this guy was trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
Now this
Did
is
he
in
fuck
the
you?
80s. They weren't trying.
They were fucking.
weren't trying in the early
You
80s.
gotta trust me. Get in my car.
So I had nothing going on. So I go in the car with them. We go to Queens. We go to JFK. And this guy's not saying anything. He's just a big guy. He's a big guy.
Huge
and-
cock.
And we go into the airport and we go by a hangar and there's some offices there. And we get out and we go into this airline that I never heard of. That was basically a domestic airline. They flew domestics from the Caribbean to the United States back and forth. And they had a business. So we go in there and we're greeted by the CEO, the CFO, and the president of the company. And we're being introduced. And then the guy, who I forget his name now, turns to me and said, I would like you to meet Frank Morgallo, my pilot. I said, what? He's my pilot. And what was happening, he was leasing an airplane and he was bringing his pilot to inspect the plane. I wasn't aware of this. So we go inside and they make a presentation to me about the technical aspects of the plane with the benefits of having this. It was a DC-8, I believe.
When was this? What year?
80, 81, something like that.
2081?
Yeah, no, 1981, 80, somewhere in that area.
Oh, so back when they couldn't fact check.
There was no back check. There was nothing. And well, that was in the middle of when I was doing all the hoaxes. So what happens is after that, we go out and they asked me if I have any questions. I said no. So we're going towards the plane. The plane is out there. It's out of the hangar and it looked just like the picture behind me with the ramp going up it. And the CFO says to me, would you like to take it up? And I thought
He wanted to fuck you. He was
So,
right.
I never took a plane
Yeah,
up.
the end of that sentence was the ass.
Yes.
I like to take it up the ass.
There was no beginning part. It was just up the ass.
So we go. I said, no, let's just go look at it. So we go up the ramp. Well, they just follow me up. I get in there, and the left is the cockpit, to the right are all the seats. So I go down the aisle with all the seats, and I'm touching the cloth, the leather. It was leather seats, the leather on the seats. I point out to a hole in one of the seats, and they just type of deal. I walk down, then I look into the bathroom. Okay, then I turn around, and I'm by the cockpit. They said, "Come on, let's go in." So I go in and I sit down, and there's a like this, and he says, "What do you think?" I said, "How many miles on it?" He says, "I don't have that figured out. I left it in the boardroom."
They don't have a speedometer?
No, there was no speedometer on it. But the gauges on it, I started tapping on the gauges. Oops.
Did you just break your own gauge?
I
You're fine.
lost
You're
it.
fine. Please continue.
Okay, so I can't see anything. But anyway, so what happens is
Give me a
Having a
pilot. You
stroke.
can't work a phone. What the fuck?
so the bottom line
Tell
is
a
the
story.
guy who brought me there pulled a prank on me to benefit himself. We go to an Italian restaurant for a great meal. Everybody gets drunk. And this
he
guy
fucked you.
signs
We
a
fucked
lease.
everybody. Yeah.
He signs a lease for 2 years. I forget, it was an exorbitant amount of money to lease this airplane. And they were going to get it ready for him to have it in a week. And so we left. The guy, I totally upset with him when we left there. But I realized he pulled a prank on me. And so he dropped me off. The next day, he never called me up. 2 days later, I tried to find, I didn't even have his phone number. I couldn't find the guy. I never saw the guy again in my life.
It wasn't real.
No, it was
It was
real.
a ghost. That was the basis of the Sixth Sense.
Are you a pilot now?
I took the next time somebody did that to me, I did take the plane up.
The next time someone did it to me. All right, Frank, you know the part where you have to ask us who the piece of shit is, so please do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's see who the piece of shit is.
And that's our time, by the way.
Possibly, is it me? Is it
Yes.
the guy that duped me? Is it the guys from the airline that thought that this was a legitimate deal?
Bobby, since you guys are fighting with each other, I want you to go first.
It's the guy.
Which guy? The guy who hired Frank, whatever.
The guy who said he was a mutual friend. He's the piece of
Right.
shit. Because he was probably looking for Frank Mergallo, a pilot, and you're not him. And so he just had you inspect a plane, and then probably 3 days later, it killed a bunch of people because there was a bunch of shit wrong with it. I think he was the piece of shit.
AC, who's the piece of shit in this story?
I think it's that guy as well. Or possibly you for not just at least taking it for a little drive around the tarmac, just to see how it handled.
Yeah, why wouldn't you try it out? You're walking around like an asshole. Why wouldn't you just go for it? If it didn't,
I forgot to tell you what I did
here's a
do
lie.
is when we got off the plane, I circled the plane and I stopped at the tires and I kicked them and they said they're pretty good.
that works. But like, if you're gonna go for it,
I mean, yeah,
go
I
for
mean,
it. Frank, if
well,
the plane didn't run, if you're an inspector and the plane you couldn't fly it because you don't know what you're doing, you just go, oh my god, it's broken. They're already trusting you. If it doesn't start, you're like, oh, it must be the battery.
I don't
You guys
know
leave
how
the
to
radio
start
on?
a plane. There's no
We've taught-
key.
Taught
Yeah,
them how you don't have to yell at us. It's all the same sound.
Oh,
Steve, who's the
Sorry.
piece of shit in this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. It's definitely you.
Yeah.
You were handed the keys to a plane and you just walked around and said, oh, there's a hole in that seat instead of flying it.
right.
Very disappointed in how that story went. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I could, if you knew me, you realize you could hardly drive a car.
Well, he doesn't know you.
That's
You know what?
I mean.
Planes aren't cars. Totally
Yeah.
different thing.
Like some
Frank.
people are good at skiing, some are good at snowboarding. Cars aren't your thing, maybe airplanes are.
You
Yeah,
don't know.
Bobby.
Now, next week, when Frank invented snowboarding. All right. Frank, you're the piece of shit, but not for any of the reasons anyone else said. Frank, you're a fucking professional hoaxer, a scammer, a ne'er-do-well. You are upset. You ended that story with such a bitch-ass thing. You said, and I was upset for a day because I realized you realized you weren't a pilot. When the fuck did you realize you weren't a pilot? Maybe the second they asked if you're a pilot, I would, if someone said, hey, Pat, come here, inspect this plane, I would go, I can't. Why not, Pat? Because I'm not a fucking pilot. End of prank. It's over. Who arrest this man who kidnapped me? Yeah, Frank, you were kidnapped. You were Epsteined into a car, and you were about to be flown to an island to get fucked. Dude, don't get in cars with people. You're better than this. You're a prank professional. Why would you say it? I would have turned it on him. I'm not the pilot. He's the pilot. And then they would have gone back and were pointing at each other. You walked around, you did some hack shit. You pointed at a hole, kicked a tire. You're better than that, Frank.
And what would have been funnier than you getting that plane in the air and like crashing it into a building or something, you know?
Frank, I would have,
Yeah.
fine. If you're going to go with it,
Hilarious.
like Steve said, drive it. Like AC said, drive it around the lot. I would have said, can you pull up? Who has a car? Who has a station wagon or bigger? I said, we need to jump the battery. And I would have had them come out and try to hook up fucking cables to jump it to start anything I could just to be stupid. You're better than that.
You got to remember one thing, Pat.
I don't have to remember anything.
I saw it conquered.
I was put in a position and I reacted as a professional prankster, as you said.
You weren't in the prank. You were being pranked.
But I stayed in
That's
character.
like being raped and you spin around for raping them. What are you doing?
I decided to stay in character.
It wasn't a character.
Hang on a second. No, it was. He knew he was part of something at that point.
I don't think Frank knows that he's not a pilot.
I mean, that was pretty epic if you think about it.
It really was.
We're in an airplane. Everybody, all these high-end individuals are looking at me like I have all this authority and I know what I'm talking about.
Who's high-end working on a plane?
These guys just sound like idiots.
Yeah, they believed you. They have no idea, and they're agreeing with you. I don't think they were really plane mechanics.
You looked in the bathroom and said how many miles are on this thing, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's he knows his aviation."
You can tell how worn that seat is.
Look, he kicked the tires. Yeah, that's good.
Well, Frank, the tires.
Is this story real?
Yes.
Did you run out of stories? I thought that was going to
happen. No, it's a real story. It's a real story.
Is this one of those movies that Chris Farley was supposed to make before he died?
Not good enough of a story to be a fake story. Let's give Frank the benefit of the doubt.
I think Frank's smart enough not to make it a great story because he knows that Bobby, if he ends it like normal Bobby and fucks some famous lady, you're going to yell at him. So he pulled that part out.
And then Shirley Temple was in the bathroom.
Over this island called Fantasy Island. And this midget yelled, "Boss, the Frank, the Frank." That joke was for 4 people my age. All right, Frank, do you think you're a piece of shit?
No, I think the guy who conceived this whole hoax was the piece of shit. Because
how about all the people that worked for the plane that don't know who you are?
No, it's so simple.
Why don't they have their own guy?
Listen, they probably needed money. They were probably desperate for dollars to survive in the world.
Used car salesmen don't have them bring in an outside guy.
So when they looked at me, they saw dollar signs. So
Steve
they just
sold
agreed.
cars. Steve, if you were selling a car, did you let an outside guy come in and take over and start poking? No, because you're trying to make the sale.
Well, no, it sounds like the guys that were selling the plane, because the guy you went with was buying the plane, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were like his expert. To try to drive the price down. You were supposed to go in there and say, "Oh, there's something wrong with
selling a plane."
I've had people come in and pull that shit where it's like, yeah, if they're buying a Mustang, like, oh, this guy knows a lot about Mustangs, and he's like looking under the hood, like, oh, there's something wrong with that. I'm just like, shut up. I don't care.
See, Steve would have said, "Shut up," and I don't know why those people didn't say, "Shut up," like the second you spoke.
Steve also pissed in a filing cabinet for a while, so maybe he's not the modern example of how to sell something.
Whoa.
I bet you
people still use those files.
Yeah, they were important files.
See? Steve knew. Steve would have peed on the Mustang.
Customer information on those bad boys.
After this, I'm about to go and visit my friend, an old mate from way back, who's actually a pilot and an aircraft engineer at the moment. So I'll see if this story checks out.
Ask him if he knows the
his name
Frank Mergallo.
Yeah.
I left out that he called me Captain.
Stop
Frank.
leaving stuff out, Frank. We gotta move on to the next story. This is
Pat,
your worst work.
Can I ask you one thing?
No.
I don't see anybody. What should I do?
You've died.
I mean, I just see me, which is
in the top right of your screen, Frank. There should be a little button that says "View."
No, I'm off that. I'm on my setting page.
What? Frank, I don't know.
X out of that, can you?
Press a bunch of stuff. It'll figure itself out.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, how's everybody?
Hey, good to see you, Frank.
Hey, Captain Frank.
Good to see everybody. Wow.
You got professional advice from Steve Conti.
Daylight in New Zealand.
Push a bunch of buttons and see what happens. That was my favorite advice. All right, Frank. Thanks for that, Frank. I think the show's almost over, but thanks. Florida man arrested for reportedly tossing gator into Wendy's. Jupiter, Florida man was arrested for tossing a live alligator into a Wendy's restaurant drive-through east of Loxahatchee, according to WPTV. Joshua James, 23, was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, illegally killing, possessing, or capturing an alligator, and second-degree larceny, petty theft, according to the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. He has not been released on bail as of Monday afternoon. Reports that the incident occurred in October, but James had only been arrested recently by U.S. Marshals. Officials with Florida Fish and Wild Game Conservation Commission told WPTV that James pulled up for his order, and then after a server handed a drink and turned around, James tossed a 3.5-foot gator into the window. That's the end of the story.
And you complained about my story.
Mine was brief, it was to the point, and mine was real.
Yeah.
And incredible.
Yes.
That
it's actually
alligator
written
was
by
also
somebody.
a pilot, it turned out.
Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Wendy's for being upset that someone threw a gator at him? I'm sure they've had worse things thrown at them. I've watched all the TikTok videos where assholes try to wrap things at the drive-thrus and all that stuff. 3.5-foot gator doesn't sound that terrible. It sounded like it was dead too. Is it the guy who captured a gator, killed it, did whatever he did to it, and said, fuck it, I'm going to throw it at Wendy's? I don't know. I've been the way. Maybe he didn't like the way they served his drink. Maybe they didn't give him a straw. Maybe he was like, if they give me a straw, I won't throw a gator at him. Who knows? Is it the gator? You're a 3.5-foot gator. This guy sounds like a bitch. The most thing you can think of doing is fucking throwing you through a fucking window. You can't fight this man. You're a goddamn gator. Or is it Frank for not inspecting the gator, kicking its tires, and poking a hole in it? Steve, go first.
Man, I really thought it was the guy for throwing the gator at first. Because, you know, if someone fucking threw an alligator at me, I'd be like, you're a piece of shit for doing that. But then when you explained it, what this gator's a fucking pussy, why'd he let someone do that to him? The gator's pretty much a piece of shit. And then, yeah, Frank, what the fuck's your problem? You're not a real pilot.
You're goddamn real
So
pilot.
I'm real torn.
You can also make up your own. I just give options. You can make up your own.
I guess I'm going to have to go with Wendy's for having a gator thrown at them. You're a piece of shit. You did something. I don't know. I've never had someone so pissed at me they threw wildlife at me. So whatever they did, they know what they did.
Yeah, that had to
They're the
come from
biggest piece of
somewhere.
shit.
That's not just a prank like Frank would do. You're planning. You have a gator in the car. You stopped at Wendy's. I don't think you kill a gator and go, I need a Frosty. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But like,
Yeah, it sounds very premeditated.
yeah. AC.
Well, over here where we are, you can go fishing and you catch your fish and you take it down to the fish and chip shop and they'll cook it for you.
That's nice.
So if they didn't cook that gator, they're the piece of shit for not doing that.
Oh, you think he wanted them to prepare it for him? Like he brought it to Wendy's and wanted like a gatornator?
It's very lean and it's green as well. So
Have you ever eaten gator?
yeah, fried gator tots, is that what they call them?
I've never had gator tots. I've had alligator once, but it was just stewed and it was gross.
That was all right. I guess it was really deep fried and crispy.
Yeah, if you deep fry shit, it's gonna be good no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Wendy's makes shitty fries. That's one of their worst things they have is French fries. So they wouldn't know how to fry a gator.
Mm.
So you're
Yeah.
right. Wendy's should have cooked. If I worked at Wendy's, they threw me a gator, I would have thrown it in the deep fryer and then brought it back to them and charged them for it.
Yeah.
You want cheese on this? That's what I would have asked. Frank, who's a piece of shit?
Yeah, Steve kind of nailed it because there has to be a backstory here where he's a disgruntled employee from Wendy's. I mean, he didn't go to McDonald's where you get more publicity when you go to the #1 hamburger joint, but he went to Wendy's. So there has to be something there.
You like
between
McDonald's
him-
better than Wendy's?
Popularity, yes.
I don't know. Square Burger is better. You get more meat.
Well,
You don't fucking
Well,
know.
what I'm saying, I'm not talking about hamburgers. I don't give a
You
shit.
just did. You fucking
I'm not consuming hamburgers. I don't give a shit about hamburgers. I'm
I've
trying to
seen you
lose
consume
fucking weight.
hamburgers.
I know, but I'm in trouble trying to lose weight. And you got to bring it up. I'd
You're
rather have
gonna
an
die.
alligator,
Just be
a
fat.
lean alligator. But the problem is there's a backstory there that we don't know. And I have to blame Wendy's. Wendy's the piece of shit in this story because they did
Why?
something.
The person
They
was
did something to
chilling.
agitate this poor man to take an alligator and throw it through a window.
He had the alligator. He didn't take one. He already
Well,
had
he had to
said
take
gator.
it from his
We don't know
car
that.
and throw it in.
Bobby, help me here because Frank's lost.
Dude, I can tell you who's not the piece of shit. The guy who threw an alligator through a window.
Yeah,
That's the funniest
that
thing
guy
I've ever
rules.
heard, dude.
That guy is so cool.
There's so many possibilities as to why he threw an alligator, and I'm behind all of them. The first one I would like is if there was bad customer service. And they're like, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm gonna throw an alligator through the window." They're like, "All right." Then he came back an hour later with an alligator.
I
Hilarious.
hope he said, "See you later, alligator."
That's
You
great.
better have fucking said that. You got to be a dad joke hack in that one.
Dude,
And toss it.
And you guys think there's a backstory. I enjoy it better if there's not. If he just found an alligator and was like, "You know what I'm gonna do? Fuck up some Wendy's employees' days."
Yeah, I think it's funny that Frank thinks that a crazy person needs backstory. They're crazy. They wrestled a gator, they went and got lunch, and then they were like, they threw it. And the gator was gonna eat his fries.
As somebody who got hit
I'll
with a
take my
bicycle once,
That's
if somebody throws an alligator at you, they're justified.
Yeah.
You probably had it coming.
what I'm
Thank
saying.
you.
You know the piece of shit is the Florida Police Department. You don't arrest this man. There's enough
You
shit
give him the
going
key
on
to
in
the
your
goddamn
stupid
city.
state. There's enough. There's so much bath salt, eating face, people, fucking teachers, fucking children. Gator throw guy is a hero. That's it. Doing something like that is a. First of all, you think about it. They didn't explain the kind of car, but I'm thinking the kind of guy that wrestles gators and kills them and then throws them at Wendy's isn't driving a cool car. It's probably small. The window, I don't know. A 3.5-foot gator sounds pretty big to me. That's half the size of most people, even more than that. It's probably thick. I don't know. It's probably got some girth to it. It's a gator. He had to take it, toss it, fire it through his window and through their window. And that's a half a window. They don't have a whole wide open window. He made a nice toss at them. He deserves, if I happened to me and I worked at Wendy's and obviously my life was over because I'm working at Wendy's and no one at Wendy's cares. You're at that window and a gator comes in. You're like, I can go home now. Cause you're just a big fat black lady. No offense, big fat black ladies, but you know, you're working there and you're like, oh my God, he just threw a gator at me. I'm going home. This is white people shit. And then you get to leave. You get to go home, be with your 14 kids that don't know you. It's wonderful for everybody. He should have a parade for this guy. To arrest him is to arrest the bald eagle. He's America.
Dude, he should be the president.
He probably will be.
This would be the greatest foreign relation strategies ever. What's going on between Israel and Palestine? I don't know. I threw a 3-foot alligator at him. We'll see how they figure it out.
If Gator Throw guy doesn't get the same kind of respect that what's the guy's name, Tiger King,
Or Viking guy.
he's better than Tiger King. He's not trying to fuck straight men. He's trying to ruin Wendy's.
And it's a hit piece. You know, the first, what does it say? A Florida man. Straight away, you know, they think he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, right away. You're saying that like, yeah, fuck you, Florida man. Everyone's like, oh God, Florida man, piece of shit. But he's killing it. He's throwing gators at people. Maybe his wife's an asshole. You ever think of that? Maybe that's your backstory. And his wife hates it when he wrestles gators. And he's like, I'm gonna bring another one home. It's better than holding my wife. She never fucks me. So I like to wrestle gators. They get worn out so I can go to sleep. And he's gonna bring it on. She's like, you bring one more fucking gator, we're done. We're over. And he's a loser. He's a Florida man. He wrestles gators. He can't get other women. He's lucky he got one. And then she's like, you better bring home dinner. I want that fancy eating. I want baconator. Double. So he's like, fuck, I can't have both. I got to do it. So here, dude, take my gator. He probably just did it like that. He probably was just like, fuck. Or maybe he didn't even realize. Maybe he went to reach for his wallet and he grabbed the wrong thing. And he went to get money, but instead he grabbed his gator and threw it at them. Either way, it's not worth arrest.
Alligator skin wallet. Got confused.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that person at Wendy's could sell that gator for big money.
Yeah.
What's
I like
gators
to think-
go on the black market?
I'd like to think he's the anti-Steve Irwin. Instead of Crocodile Hunter, he's Crocodile Releaser. And he just runs around. He's like, oh, we got a big one here. We're going to throw it in Wendy's today.
What if the Wendy's drive-through person's name tag said Irwin? And he was like, you motherfucker. And then just threw the gator at him. I guess it would be a stingray, right? Didn't the stingray kill him?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank,
What?
if that happened to you, would you stop and inspect the gator? Someone's like, we had a gator throw. We need expert gatorologist.
Right.
Frank Morgan.
Well,
I guess I got tricked again.
I do carry a tape measure with me, and I
That's
will
for your
definitely measure the throws. Yeah, definitely.
You're the throw.
But I wonder, nobody ever thought of making alligator shoes. I mean, you got
What are you talking about?
an alligator.
People
right?
make alligator shoes all the time.
Yeah, I know, but
I've got a pair.
You got a free
Oh, you mean the people at
canvas.
Wendy's?
At Wendy's.
You think they're
yeah.
cobblers?
Yeah.
But it's in Florida. I feel there's free alligators everywhere. Like those things are all over the fucking place down there.
Yeah, did anybody ever hand you an alligator? I mean, somebody handed somebody an alligator.
I do.
This is
I
true.
do like Steve's.
But I
last
feel like
he's in
that's
Mexico,
the same
you
thing
just
as
throw
like in
cockroaches
New
at
York.
people.
Yeah, if someone just like took a squirrel and threw it to the window, it's not like, oh my
Also
god, I have a
hilarious.
squirrel now. It's just like it's now inside.
All right, Steve. Here's your Sophie's choice. You can either be at a window and either have a live squirrel tossed at you or a dead gator.
I guess the dead gator, because it's not going to do
all
anything.
day. Like,
The squirrel, if it gets launched at me at the right angle, can really fuck my face up.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think I could win either fight, but I'm pretty sure I could fight a gator better than I could fight a squirrel. It's too small. You don't know and if you beat this shit out of a squirrel, you're the asshole who beat up a squirrel. If you fight and beat a gator, even a dead one, you look cool. You know what I mean? Right? AC, same thing. You're a tough man. Fighting a gator or a squirrel. Both alive.
I find squirrels really cute, so I'd probably try and.
But it doesn't find you cute. Like some women, it's like, you're like, all right, you gotta fight it.
I'd like to have a go with a squirrel.
But how would you fight a squirrel?
Tickle fight? I don't.
Tickle fight? How you gonna tickle a little armpit?
Some of them in DC were crazy and they're big nuts and they sit up at you and they.
Yeah, but you still can't
So
punch
I
them.
wouldn't want to fight with him. Probably try and kick him like a rugby ball.
Yeah, you drop them quick. Let them hit the ground and fucking get right underneath them.
Yeah, how far they go.
Still worth 3 points.
Frank,
I feel like if you fight a squirrel, you look like a psychopath because you're just going to end up stomping on it and
Right.
squishing it. But if you fight an alligator, it's like, oh, you're a badass. You're like,
Yeah.
Steve Irwin.
It's a no-brainer. You fight the alligator. I mean, who wants to lose to a squirrel?
no way.
I
I
mean,
say this all the
That's
time.
also, yeah.
I think I've said this too many times on shows, but I have a fear of giant birds because where I walk and run all the time, there's these turkey vultures and they're terrifying. And I actually will turn around and walk another mile away because Dan Brown, who's been on this show, has told me that one day I told him I saw turkey vultures. He goes, "Oh, watch out!" And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Oh, you don't know? Well, when they get scared, they eat something a lot whole, like whatever rodents they eat, and then they keep it in their stomach. And if they get scared, they regurgitate it back whole at the thing they're scared of. So now I'm afraid of have a flying rodent fly out of a turkey vulture's mouth at me, and I can't fight them or geese because I don't know how to fight a bird, but I can fight a gator or a bear.
You weaken them with body shots, then go for the head.
Or I would go the old school wrestling mentality, like Eddie Guerrero fighting Brock Lesnar. Like you kick the knee, a couple drop kicks to the knee, you take them down. I don't know if gators have knees. Do they have knees?
Yeah, I think so. They got bends in their arms.
Yeah.
Was the gator dead?
They got
It's
He
kind of
said-
like those.
Yeah, he
those-
said killed.
Oh, that makes the story so much less exciting.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
so
Just
much
give it a-
funnier if he throws a live gator through the window.
give it a Hulk leg drop and call it a day.
You can't
You're
throw
just-
a live gator.
You're just walking away from the counter. Your manager's yelling, "Why aren't you at the delivery counter? Because there's a goddamn gator." Just stomping at people
How do you throw a live gator?
gently.
You got to grab the tail and I guess and heave ho. It's got to be dead.
The gator's got to be in on it too.
Because didn't they say that they used a weapon to kill it or some shit before?
Yeah, he bludgeoned it or something.
Gators
thought-
are like those cars with the shocks that go up and down.
Why was it
you know?
in the car with him? Strap
I
that
thought he
to the
captured a
roof.
gator and was seeking vengeance by throwing a
Strap
live
it to the
gator at people.
roof. I don't know. It's a lot. I have a lot of questions for Florida, man. Maybe Frank's right, but Frank, Bobby has made a good point. What if the gator wasn't in on it? Like you weren't in on it with the prank when you were a pilot. What if the gator was just invited into a car to he's like, "Hey, you're like Gator Magallo, right? Why don't you get in this car? We're gonna go to Wendy's." Then he got killed and thrown. Right?
Yeah.
You could understand. You've been a victim like that.
He was the mark. He was the
He was the
mark.
mark.
The gator was the mark.
Bobby, please tell me you got something.
I do.
Good.
So, restaurants are kind of back in New York, but they're still kind of outside. And
At that restaurant, did they have Silk City hot sauce?
they don't,
Oh,
because
they
the
should
restaurant
have
sucks.
This one with which one am I holding? Oh, Bobby Biggerstaff's Chipotle.
I'd stick with the badass Jew.
Oh, you mean this one right here? Badass Jew sauce? Made with real Jew?
That's
Wow,
Aaron
Pat.
Berg's.
That looks really good. How could I get some?
That's a delicious
Bobby,
sauce.
you could get some by going to, I'm Frank reading now. You could get some by going to silkcityhotsauce.com using the promo code POS. And you can
Wait, Pat, I'm afraid it might be too expensive. Do you have any coupons you could give me?
I don't have coupons because this is in the 70s. I have promo codes. And what you can do is you put in POS. That's spelled POS and leave off the last S for savings. Did Steve's underwear just get caught in the thing or what happened? That was like
Does it come with stickers?
yeah, you know what, AC? It does come with stickers. I love you, my friend. It comes with stickers. Yeah, the great artwork they have there. They have not only the kinds I've mentioned, all of them. I'm out of my Aztec attack, by the way. I'm out of it. I've used it already. I've gone through it. I can't stop eating this shit. It's great. But seriously, get over there, support us.
I'm still not convinced, Pat. Is there anything you could throw in to sweeten the deal with every order you buy using that promo code?
If you order right now, our hot sauce inspector,
Steve.
Frank Mergalo, will come to your house and he will look at your hot sauce. He will poke it and tell you where there's a hole. But
And I'll
if you
give
don't
you
want
10% off.
And they also throw in a cherry sriracha.
I was gonna get.
That's what I was leading you to, buddy.
I know, but I kind of want. I like to make these fun. They like it when I make it fun.
All right, we'll run it from the top. We're not doing anything.
Run from the top. We had no top. You know what it's great on? Gator. If you put Jonestown on Gator, oh, it brings out the sweet heat in that fucking Gator meat. It really does. Steve, do you like hot shit?
Yeah, I always destroy my stomach eating hot shit. Because I used to be one of those people that would like drink hot sauce because I put that shit on everything.
But do you like it with
now I'm
burns or do you like flavor to yours?
Oh, I obviously like flavor. I'm a
Well,
man of
Silk City
substance.
hot sauce has flavor, not just fucking sweet. It's also a tasty treat that can't be beat. They took somebody like Chad Zumach, who's got no charisma, and made his sauce amazing. I like Chad. I say this every week. He never hears the second part. But that Mango Madness is great on chicken. It's probably good on gator. Frank's been rubbing it on his father-in-law's skin, who's 103 every day for 2 weeks, and he looks 101. That's how good this shit is. But if you want cherry sriracha sauce, you'll get it for free again. I don't know how that works because they sent me 7 bottles and they didn't send me the free one.
They do send you it for free with every order.
Why didn't they send me a free one with my bottles of free?
Because you didn't actually buy it, you cheap bastard.
This is paying for it. Look what I'm doing. People are buying it like the hot cakes that they are.
Don't be like that.
What is sriracha?
Buy your Silk City hot sauce using promo code POS to get your cherry sriracha.
What's sriracha?
We've gone over it. It's like the Japanese hot sauce.
We've gone over it. It doesn't mean I remember it. I forget.
I make it up every week you ask me. I say
forgot
something
how to
different every time.
And I'm not just asking you. I'm asking all our people. AC, do you have a hot sauce in New Zealand?
Yeah,
There you go.
but I don't. I'm not a fan of hot sauce. I would probably go for that sweet.
See, I don't like hot. But the mango one is good, not too hot. And then the Aztec Attack is not really hot. It's a green chili. It's tasty. I put it on burgers. Frank doesn't eat burgers. He's too fucking rich and snotty.
You should take that one for a
Frank's
name.
a pilot.
That's
He's
right.
not a pilot.
What do
Frank
pilots
takes it
put
in
on
the poop
there?
deck.
I eat airline food.
You should put hot
Deal
sauce
with
on your
those
airline
airline
food.
peanuts.
Yeah.
Put some slurp on that bitch.
Yeah.
That's the name of one of them. Slurp. That's not really a good name.
Oh, it makes me think of cum.
Yeah, me too. Hold on as I reflect on cum for a little. Like, oh, just the memories of cum yesteryear. All right, Bobby. This portion of the show is brought to you by Silk City Hot Sauce. It's Bobby's hot takes. Oh, we got to call it that. Look at
Hot
me, I'm a
takes with
genius. Take
Bobby.
it, Bobby.
All right, so
Hold on, Frank. Introduce Bobby.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thanks, Pat. Welcome to the
Captain
Pat O
Frank.
Oh,
Show.
welcome. I just do it, Bobby. Just fucking do it.
Part two. Let's welcome our co-host, Bobby Timborough.
Thanks, Frank. So I live above a couple of restaurants, and they have started cooking fish and onions at about 6 o'clock every morning. which means my room smells like fish and onions. And I'll be honest, I've already kind of had it with this people because they take up the whole sidewalk. Their servers are always in the way when I'm walking home. And then they've taken it a step further and they have live music performing on the sidewalk for these people. And they're always in your way. They're very rude. So I've decided to get these rich people back because let's be honest, it's a nice restaurant in Manhattan. That's who's eating there. So every night
It's
when I walk,
fancy.
it is fancy. Yeah.
I would think fish and onions isn't fancy.
It's like nice onions. I don't know, man.
Nice. We have the
So-
nicest of onions.
Every night when I walk back to my hotel room, I just give them what I call the 8 mile, which is where I just pull my pants down enough to expose my bare ass and then tuck my hoodie up under my backpack and just kind of show them all my bare ass as I'm walking back to my hotel room.
Do you lose yourself in the moment?
I don't know, man. It was a bad reference.
Wait, dude, only Frank
Who's
get
the
that
Mom's
piece
show?
of shit?
spaghetti.
What?
Yeah, Steve said that. I think only Frank. You saw 8 Mile?
You talking to, did I see 8 Mile? Yes.
What? Why did
Yeah, I
you
saw
watch
that
the
with
Eminem movie?
Eminem, right? Eminem. You talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah, Frank. All right, go ahead,
Frank.
Bobby. Sorry.
What do you think I am? What do you think? I'm 80 years old?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
80
right.
Mile. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
So
Wait,
I
Frank,
guess-
you remember when Cheddar Bob shot himself in the dick? That was hilarious, right?
I missed that. I had to go to the
Missed Cheddar
bathroom.
Bob.
Oh,
In the
of course.
dick. You didn't watch it.
Hell
You
yeah,
Cheddar
that's-
Frank.
so
Go
who's
ahead.
the piece of shit? Is it
Go ahead,
me?
Cheddar Bobby.
Is it me for showing a bunch of rich people my ass? Is it the rich people for being in everybody else's way? Or is it the government for shutting down restaurants so we got to put up with rich people on the sidewalks? Let's kick it to Frank first because he's paying attention.
I would say you're saying that there's a fish restaurant in the hotel that you're staying at?
It's like next
Fish
door.
and nice onions.
And nice onions.
Nice onions in the hotel you're staying at.
It's technically next door, but it walks
it's
right
next
up in
door,
the window.
But you have to pass there to get to
Yeah.
the entrance to the hotel. Why
Exactly.
don't you fucking cross the street and come around the other way?
You're telling me to go up the whole block.
No, don't be a New Yorker. Go in the
how do
middle
you
of the
think
street.
smell
Cross.
works?
What?
How do you think smell works? So if he walks the other way, he can't smell it when he gets there because he
No,
walked the
he
other way.
seems to, he's talking more about a traffic jam in front of the place, correct, Bobby?
Yeah, but it's like right in front of the place. There's no backdoor entrance.
Oh, so you have to go through that way.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to the proprietor about this?
No, that's so much effort.
And they sure they don't speak English.
All right, then that leaves you're the piece of shit. I mean, because you're not you're being proactive by dropping your drawers and showing your ass. Okay, talk about a smell. You think you're getting a smell from the onions and the
That's
fish.
the
Now they're
point.
getting a
You get the
smell from
prank,
your
Frank.
ass. What?
Anybody? So that's the point. You get it. It's a smell for a smell. You get it.
It
And-
doesn't solve your. It doesn't solve.
Anybody
your problem.
surprised that the
onion
80-year-old
and his
solution is
asshole
to
have
talk to the
layers.
manager? No, it doesn't. Just some hemorrhoids.
Nice.
Steve,
By the
what
way,
do you
the
think?
number one, if you look up nice onions, number one is Spanish.
Would make sense.
I guess the government's the piece of shit, Bobby. They
Thanks,
totally
Steve.
suck because they put
Yeah.
everybody out on the streets. Yeah, no, I really hate that shit. So, non-funny point. That sucks.
Yeah, take that, government.
AC.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's Governor Como. He's just a
Yeah.
piece of shit. Killing all those old people and shutting down businesses. He can rot in hell.
I
Number
agree.
two of nice
But
onions
it's
is shallots.
Huh?
Shallots is number two on the nice onion list.
How many down is balls gonna be?
White
Onion
is
ring.
3. Pearl is 4. Red. The
What's
names
your
of onions
favorite
suck.
onion? What's your favorite onion, Frank?
Vidalia. Vidalia is a nice sweet onion.
Sweet is 6. The Vidalia falls into the sweet group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't subculture this shit.
How about
Ramps
you,
are
Steve?
7th.
What's your favorite onion?
Um,
Bloomin'.
Nice onions are my favorite because you can only get them in fancy restaurants where people eat, rich people eat with fish.
This is POS onion talk.
Well-
AC, what's your favorite onion?
I wanted.
Whatever, $1.50 a pound. I don't give a shit.
How do you prefer them prepared, AC?
Sauteed, right? Chopped.
Depends what I'm eating. With fish, I like them fried in butter.
Yeah, what kind of fish? What kind of onions and fish did you? I would at least ask what the meal is making. Fish and onions is a weird combo.
Oh, they go,
It
wow,
is.
that's an Italian restaurant, right?
That's my guess, yeah. I don't really pay that much attention because I'm just trying to get home.
An Italian restaurant cooking fish and onions every morning at 6 o'clock.
That's what I smell.
Wow.
How do you know it's fish and onions?
They're two very distinct smells. Like, you know how you smell a poop and you're like, that's a human poop. It's the same
Yeah.
principle.
Wait, nice poop? What kind of poop is it?
Is it sweet?
I'd say sun-dried if I had to guess.
Sun-dried.
Is it white poop? All right. The piece of shit in this story are the people that are waking up at 6 a.m. and making fish. Not that it's bothering you. I don't care about that. I understand they have to have a job. But right there at that moment, 6 a.m., you're elbow deep in chopping onion and fish heads. I don't even know what kind of fish. I'm guessing some kind of haddock. I'm guessing it's not good fish. If they're doing nice onions, you're not doing nice fish. In this economy, you either do nice fish and shit onion or nice onion, shit fish. So I'm guessing it's some kind of like some kind of haddock or halibut or something like that, and then some good onion. If you're cooking onion and fish at 6 a.m., life is not going to get any better. You've ruined it, and it's not good now. You quit your job. They should see you out there and going, look at this little man who some reason looks happy. He shouldn't be happy. He's fighting with his coworkers. He just wants the love of Frank, and Frank's there crying. The two of you are star-crossed lovers. What I think should happen is that, Bobby, you should move in with Frank. Sam, who can't smell anymore, should live where you live, and then he could smell that fish, and he wouldn't care, and he'd go visit them.
They wouldn't care. Yeah.
They
To be
would
honest,
love
the
Frank here.
piece of shit is Bobby, because you mooned the wrong people. If you're gonna moon him, make sure you moon the owner, not the fucking servants. They don't want to do it either. You showed them your butthole, and what did they like? They're
Sometimes
like,
in a war, there are going to be innocent casualties.
what
Pat,
if
you know?
in their culture that's a compliment? You know, like some people say, like when you burp, it means the food is good. Like those idiots. Like in my land, when a young man shows his butthole, it means he wants
Yeah.
more fish.
In their
He
gay
wants more
culture,
fish.
showing your man butt.
In their very,
It's a
very
compliment.
gay culture.
Then they
Show us
deserve
your
it.
man butt.
Then eat your heart out.
Surprise, on one of our guests has a story, and we're going to close on that. AC, you've brought a story to the table.
I have, and it's the only story I can think of that's not just two parties, which is usually me being a piece of shit or the other person being a piece of shit.
That's usually how most of this work.
A long time ago, I used to work in an electrical firm, electricians and whatnot, and people would bring in stuff to get fixed back when you could fix stuff, you know. And this guy, he's like a country boy surfer, and he brings in this cattle prod. I don't know if you know what a cattle prod is, but it's about long as a Wendy's gator. And it,
That's a new measurement. of Wendy's.
like
It's about 3.5 feet.
and you stick the cows so they don't get you or they move on. And he gets in and he brings it into me and he says, can you make this short as you can? I was like, yep, and I'll get the apprentice to do it. So I took it out, told the apprentice, and he did it, but he also gives it back to me. He comes back in a couple of days later. He's like, I shortened it down, but he goes, I also made it about 3 times more powerful. So, you know, if you're going to get that close to the bulls or whatnot, you got a bit more voltage. I was like, okay. Then the guy comes back in, Tony was his name. And I was like, here you go. And I said, well, why did you want to get it shortened? That's a bit dangerous close to those animals. He's like, oh, it's for, I'm going to change your name here. It's for Carol Baskin. She loves it. And I was like, ooh, that's some girl he was banging at the time. And name was
Carol
something.
Baskin?
I'm using that. It's Carol.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
I don't know if this girl, because this show's huge in America and New Zealand.
I've never
so
seen
don't
it. Yeah, I
know
knew
if
the
you'll
name.
and so I I didn't tell him that we'd crank the voltage up on it, and so the people who could be pieces of shit is the apprentice for upping the voltage without asking for it, him for buzzing poor old Carol when they have sex, Carol for liking it, or me for not telling him that he upped the voltage on it.
Frank, go
I know
first.
I would have to say that the guy who went in and gave you the purchase order to make the rod shorter, and I just think that he's the piece of shit. Obviously, he can't satisfy this woman. He has to use other
Oh, come on,
apparatus.
Captain Frank. You don't like kinky shit?
Captain
Sorry about not being.
Frank.
Maybe she just likes that.
Use other apparatus to stimulate the woman. I think that he's the piece of shit for that reason. Just for that reason, that's enough. I mean, he belongs on AA to tell him that I'm failing. This is what I could do. I need an apparatus to satisfy a woman. I think he's the piece of shit. Simple.
All right, Pastor Frank.
Bobby.
It's the guy, but not for that reason. If you're using a cattle prod on someone sexually and you're taking it in for work, you need to let the person doing the work know you're going to be using it on a human being. That's on him 100%. Like, hey, I don't want to kill anybody, so just so you know, I'm sticking this on my girlfriend. That's 100% on him.
Yeah, you got to own that shit. I mean,
Yep.
I get it. You might feel like you're being like, it's like when someone brings a computer to get the computer fixed and they're like, there might be some shit. You know, you got to kind of like, you know what I mean? You might, it's not kids, but it's weird. You got to tell them that something's going to be on there. So it's not just like, oh, what the fuck's and you lie. Oh, I didn't know, or something like that. Or you at least come in with one of those, it wasn't you. Like when you're doing a joke on stage, you don't want to make you look like the shithead, so you make it like your uncle. It's like, my brother and his wife love cattle prod fucking. It's all they do. But my brother lost all his limbs in the war. You remember the war, and he can't do it anymore. So he has to put it in his teeth and do it like that. So I need one that can grip with his teeth and also turn on and not kill his wife. And then you would take care of it. You got to throw that on somebody else. But yeah, Bobby's 100% right. You got to, if you're doing that shit, if you love a woman enough to cattle prod her when she needs it, you should love her enough to care about bragging about it. You got a cattle prod bitch. You should be proud of her. Steve.
I have a question. AC, why did you not tell him that you upped the voltage on his sex toy?
Well, it was going to probably have to cost. It would be more labor costs. He didn't have a lot of money, so I did.
You thought you were doing him a service.
Yeah.
Right, but you still, again, you could have told them and just be like, well, we're not going to charge you for this, but don't kill your fucking fat wife or whatever.
Yeah, she had to be fat.
It's a cattle prod. I assume she's a hefty
she's
woman.
Not a tiny woman.
She might have needed the extra voltage.
I hope she knows it's happening.
But yeah, no, I think it's you guys for judging this man who just wants to have kinky, weird sex with his fat wife and upping the voltage on his sex toy and not telling him.
This is a tough one. A lot of pieces of shit in this story. I'm not a big fan of kinky sex.
They were pretty young, like mid-20s. She was in pretty good condition.
Really?
She was in good condition.
Oh, not anymore.
Got a heart murmur.
You know, that changes everything. Because I was thinking they were older, and they were grosser. And I was also thinking this was something they call in the porn world submissive. I thought they were going for that route there. But no, was she into it? Well, she wasn't there. This is all according to him.
She loves it, is what he said.
Yeah, he said that. Then did he tell you she was good looking, or did you see a picture?
I know her.
You know her. You've looked at the woman and spoken to the woman that gets cattle prodded.
I knew her before that. Before
prodding. BP, before prodding.
Before prodding.
Now, how many volts? I don't know about getting electrocuted. How many volts does it take to hurt?
I don't think it would be able to generate, that's enough to hurt a bull.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Our apprentice was an apprentice, so he might not have succeeded in upping the voltage. But you
Well,
wouldn't be
but
able
I
to
guess
kill.
volts that hurt a bull would hurt us even more. We're smaller than bulls. We're not strong like bull. That's the old saying. So it's like I would think it even a lower thing would hurt you.
I think it'd be less than a taser. I've had 220 go through me and been all right. You
220
lose a little bit.
by being prodded or by working.
I just
Isn't it more about the amps than the volts?
I don't know what any
Yeah.
of these numbers mean.
Like you can take a high voltage. It's more about the amps that'll kill you because it fucks with your heart, right?
Yeah, like those
Bobby, have you been
tasers
prodded?
volts.
Nah, it's
Do you
not
like
my
shit
cup of tea.
that? Does that turn you on? Like, would you if you hear that a guy's prodding a girl, do you now want to see a video?
I mean, you're acting like it's a new. Like I would have to look up a video.
No.
Like to
I'm not
see
saying
something
like
new.
I'm just saying if you hear, there's people in the world that hear that and go, "Oh God, I'd never want to see that." There are some people that go, "Oh, you know what? I'm a little interested." Or someone's like, "Fuck yeah, let me Google prodding." Which one
I
are you?
mean, I would be the middle one there. I'd be like, oh, that's probably not my cup of tea, but like there, like I wouldn't be like, oh my God, somebody wants to shock somebody. Be like, oh, all right.
I'd want to watch it, them all clothed, like a jackass style prodding. I wouldn't want to watch a sexual prodding.
Steve, you have any
I don't
thoughts on
understand
a
why the sexual and the electricity's together.
bunch of
Steve-
volts being shot through somebody?
Steve, you like that shit?
I mean, me personally, no. It's something. If the lady was into it, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Where's your fucking, where's your stun gun?
Yeah, see, that'd be a weird. You can't break up with that girl.
No, I'd be fine with it. Yeah.
No, but if you're both into it, like you find out you both like it, it's gonna be hard to find someone that's digging that. Like you're dating a girl for a while, like a year, every Tuesday's prodding night. You're going down to the shop to get the prod fixed. Like they're doing a lot of stuff to get ready. Like you're going to someone and you're saying, I need more work because it's not working out because we're doing this so much that you. And all of a sudden she breaks your heart. She meets a bad electrician or someone like that can do it more for her. He has more electricity, and then now you just want to prod people and you don't know who to meet. So I think it's the guy who went and brought it in because he is like, listen. He's telling you flat out, I'm this cuck. He is. He's a cuck. He's not fucking her. You can say what you want. He's not fucking her. When you're prodding a bitch, you ain't fucking the bitch. You're prodding her, and that's it.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Like you said, it could be a thing that just makes it not sexy at all.
Yeah.
Like a jackass thing. Because if you're tasing a girl while you're fucking her, she's just like,
yeah. How is that a good
I don't know
time? That sounds awful.
I don't know if I'd be able to keep it up. I'd just be laughing.
No. And also, you'd feel it on your dick.
Well, that might be cool.
Maybe
like, now I'm vibrating. Yeah. It's always you vibrating. You're my vibrator.
Maybe he was fucking cows and he just
Oh.
used her name to sound cool.
To
I didn't
sound
think of
cool.
You
I'm
want to get
fucking
close?
a lady. I'm cool. I'm not fucking an animal like some kind of freak. Bobby, you were gonna say something?
Why isn't he fucking her? Because he's using a cattle prod. Like I feel like that's the guy who's like super into sex. Like you don't just jump.
Sex doesn't involve electricity. Just the kind that we have in each other's eyes, Bob, like you and Rebecca have.
I feel like if you're at cattle prodding, you've gotten bored with other types of sex.
Yeah, you don't like sex. If you have to electrocute a bitch, you don't like sex.
I'm not willing to give that up. I feel like you could like electricity and sex.
Not in the same day.
I agree, Bobby.
It must have been really weird before we shortened it, right? Like for the first time to right around there.
Is that 3.5 feet? Bobby, I like pudding and I like jerking off. I don't combine them.
Yeah.
It would sound like cow shit. That wouldn't be nice.
Yeah, I think you should separate church and state. Your electricity and your pussy should be separate.
Bunch of prudes.
Yeah, you know what, Bob? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with being a prude. Because what if you think the girl likes that? You're joking. Like, yeah, what if I fucking cattle prod you? Like, oh yeah, that'd be crazy. And the next day he's got one. She's like, oh fuck, you were serious. Yeah, I went to the shop. Like, you went to the shop? Yeah, I gave him your name. One guy knew you.
You don't take the lead on that. That's something they suggest. I don't think this dude was just
That
into
guy
cattle
took
prodding.
the lead. He made an appointment. He went to a specialist. He got fucking work done.
She was like, hey, that cattle prod, it's not doing it anymore.
Get a new one.
Do you like eating pussy, Pat?
Yeah.
You do?
Love it.
Okay, never mind then.
Oh,
point-
why? What's up?
Sometimes you got to do things you
Get a
don't enjoy
taser.
for the women's
What are you
sake. You know?
offering me?
You haven't eaten pussy till you've tasted it while you lick the clit. Bobby was suggesting you've never truly eaten pussy. Right,
Yeah, I
Bobby?
guess he thought Bobby mixes prude. I'm not prude.
Wait. You're telling me you can eat pussy without shocking somebody?
Yes.
Oh man, I've been doing this all wrong.
I always, whenever I eat pussy, I make sure the girls hold the toaster in the bathtub. That's the best way to eat pussy. It smells just like good onions and fish. That's what it smells like. AC, Steve, thank you so much for being on. AC, where can people follow you? All that stuff.
At AC Cowie. That's an Instagram, but I'm going dark. I'm going
Going
to the
dark?
bush.
Your Instagram's fun though. Don't go dark.
All right.
Keep
Keep
the
going a
Instagram.
little
Go
bit.
dark on everything else. I enjoy your Instagram. It's one of those ones where you make good points, but you're not like most of the assholes where you're yelling at people. It's funny, but you're not like so far one side where it's fun to watch your perspective because you're not American talking about the American bullshit, and I enjoy it.
I became an American 2 years ago.
Yeah, but then you left.
Yeah.
Steve.
Thanks for having me on. You guys are a fucking great time. You can follow me at Steve Conti to God on Twitter, and me and Bobby on compoundmedia.com.
Frank.
All right. Next Thursday, Pat and I will be at Comics of Mohegan Sun on the 18th of March. And then we'll be back on the 1st, the 15th, and the 29th of April. So we got a lineup all set, and come out and have some fun. You could also follow me on Instagram at Frank Behavior and Twitter at Frank Behavior.
And to the woman on that show that I called a manatee, I'm sorry, you were being a manatee. Like you had no neck.
Right.
Last show, and you were talking, and I know I offered to feed you a fish. You'd shut up. I didn't know I was supposed to feed him onions with it as well. And then I corrected myself and called her a womanatee because I'm woke. Bobby.
Check out the Eastside Dave show every Tuesday at 7:30 on Compound Media, or every Friday on his YouTube. The one we did this week was a lot of fun. If you missed the old episodes, it was kind of like a taste of what it used to be like pre-pandemic, so it was a lot of fun. I'm with Gino this weekend in Delaware, but more importantly, the weekend after, comedians of the compound at the Comedy Dojo East. This is a big one. I feel like it's important to go to this club. This club stayed open through the pandemic. It gave comics a place to work. It found workarounds, whether it was outdoors or when limited inside was allowed. They figured out workarounds, so it's important to support them now afterwards. Go see the comedians of the compound. You're not going to find a better show for a cheaper price.
And supporting the people that put on shows is also what you should do if you come to my show this Saturday. There's 2 shows now in Koskov, Connecticut. It's myself, Aaron Berg, Kevin Dombrowski, and Natalie Cuomo, and I'm sure Larry Bia. He's not on the poster, but he lives near there, and Mead will be there, so I'm sure Larry Bia will just fucking show up. But we will have that great show. There's 2. They already sold out the first. There's going to be a second show. Check that out on Saturday. Come out to see that show. I'm like Frank said, I'm with Frank as an indentured servant for the rest of my life at the shows at Comics, where I get to host a show where people are terrible, and then I get to say their names and then make fun of them after their sets. What else? Oh, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check that out. More importantly, get on over to the Patreon. Bobby and I have a new show. Yeah, another one with me and Bobby, where Frank's gonna get mad about because he's not on that one either. And maybe we'll do a date. We'll do like a marriage counseling thing where we have you two deal with a marriage counselor and do a show where you guys learn how to get along. But Bobby and I are gonna do a show. It's more like an interview thing, have fun, but just not a style like POS where we're gonna have different guests on and chat with them, have a good time. Exclusively only on the Patreon. So again, over there. Actually, if you get on the Patreon now, you can vote for one of the. I gave suggestions for what the names of the show could be. So get on there and make your vote or choose your own name, whatever. We appreciate you. It's only for the lowest $3 a month. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Silk City Hot Sauce, for sponsoring us. I do terrible ad reads, but the sauce is awesome. We do appreciate you. And to our newest sponsor, skipthegame.com. If you watched our last episode of POS, Ben Ortiz, who's a great open mic comic, he goes there to get his hookers. If you go there, you skip the game. You just order hookers like pizza. He pays for them, and then he gets kisses and blowjobs. Nothing else. And sometimes they bring a dog or a baby. And I'm working on that. They're not sponsoring us yet, but I'm hoping soon. Skip the game is our new thing. All right. Thank you guys so much for being on. And Bobby.
Remember, don't be a piece of shit.